Mob of the Dead. Now this isn't just another zombies map, it's a haunting masterpiece. It's gritty, it's personal, it's violent, and it completely shifted the tone of Call of Duty Zombies. Released with Black Ops 2 in 2013 as part of the Uprising DLC, Mob of the Dead was a curveball, a terrifying detour from the main Ether storyline, but it became a fan favourite. Why? Because it took everything Zombies had built up until that point and twisted it on its head. We're talking tight claustrophobic level design, limited resources, wild mechanics like Afterlife mode, and one of the darkest storylines ever written in a Call of Duty game. So today, we're diving deep, everything from lore, gameplay, weapons, layout, the prison escape, the haunting ending, and what makes this map one of the most unforgettable experiences in Call of Duty Zombies history. This isn't Richtofen and Dempsey. This is something new. Mob of the Dead introduced us to 4 unique characters, real criminals with backstories, grudges, and regret. Sal DeLuca, the mob boss, cold, calculating, and used to calling the shots. Billy Handsome, a ruthless hitman with a short fuse, known for cleaning up messes. Finn O'Leary, a crooked politician turned con artist, always talking big. And finally, Al the Weasel Arlington, the outsider, paranoid, quiet, and he draws comics. Real name, Albert Arlington. These 4 guys were all locked up in Alcatraz for their crimes, and here is where it gets heavy. The Weasel had claimed he could build a plane to escape the island. The others agreed, but as time went on, they realised he was delusional. So they killed him. But instead of moving on, they're forced to relive their betrayal over and over. This is purgatory. They're stuck in a loop. Every game of Mob of the Dead is a retelling of that exact cycle, and every time you play, you're deciding, does the cycle continue, or does someone finally break free? Now, as many of you know, Alcatraz Island is a real-life setting that's already creepy, but Treyarch had reimagined it as a twisted hellscape. From the moment you spawn in, everything feels off. The flickering lights, the distant screams, the groaning of zombies trapped inside the cells, the sirens that never stop. Every hallway is claustrophobic. There's no safety here. You're boxed in, with nowhere to run. You'll find yourself navigating the main cell block, showers, cafeteria, infirmary, docks, and the Citadel tunnels, with each location layered with detail. Bloody mattresses, empty nooses, eerie graffiti. Everything was designed to feel like a nightmare version of the place that already feels cursed. And then there's the Afterlife mechanic, a literal out-of-body experience. You zap yourself with an electric box and your soul separates from your body. You become a spirit, and that is how you power things up, solve puzzles, and even revive yourself. You're forced to kill yourself just to survive. That's how hopeless this world is. Mob of the Dead isn't just about surviving, it's about escaping. And to escape, you have to build a plane, the one that Al had been talking about the entire time. A makeshift aircraft in a zombie-infested prison. You don't just turn on power and teleport, you have to earn your exit. There are 5 key parts that you have to find to build this plane. The uniform, the control valve, the engine, oxygen tank, and the rigging. Each one is hidden in a dangerous part of the map and requires the Afterlife mechanic to unlock them. You're literally dying and zapping power boxes to progress through the map. And once you've got the parts, you haul them up to the roof, board the plane, and then you fly off the island. But here's the catch. You don't escape. You crash at the Golden Gate Bridge. And that's where you can pack-a-punch your weapons. And when you're done, you're sent right back to the prison, the cycle restarts, and the nightmare begins all over again. This gameplay loop is so unique. It makes every match feel like you're piecing together a cursed story, and over time, you start realising this isn't just a loop mechanic, it's a narrative punishment for the player. So how do you break the cycle? Mob of the Dead has one of the first real endings in zombie history. If you complete the Easter egg, you set up a final confrontation. The Weasel versus the crew. That final step takes place on the dreaded Golden Gate Bridge, and here's the real kicker. You don't fight the zombies, you fight each other. If the Weasel dies, the cycle continues, and if the Weasel wins, the loop is broken, the punishment ends. It's poetic, it's tragic, and it's incredibly bleak. You've spent hours building a plane, flying back and forth, powering up perks, only to realise that your real enemy was you. That moment where the music cuts, the screen fades, and the voices go silent. It hits harder than any jump scare. It's one of the most impactful endings in Call of Duty Zombies history. Now the weapons in this map are just as wild as its story. Let's start off with the Blundergat. A brutal sawn-off style beast of a shotgun that feels like it was made for Alcatraz. It's not just a gun, it's the weapon of the map. You could upgrade this weapon with the Acid Gat kit that turned it into a zombie melting powerhouse that shoots corrosive, explosive rounds. Then there was the Hell's Retriever, a boomerang-style tomahawk that charges up with zombie souls and comes flying back to you. It's sleek, stylish and deadly, and in my opinion, one of the coolest equipment pieces in zombies' histories. No ray gun needed, no thunder gun required. Mob's wonder weapons fit the tone perfectly. Gritty, painful and up close. And of course, the Afterlife mode is basically a wonder mechanic on its own. It's how you activate the perks, reach secret areas and revive yourself. But it's limited. You only get so many charges per round. Managing Afterlife becomes a very crucial part of your strategy. It's risky, it's clever, and it keeps you on edge every single game. So Mob of the Dead isn't just beautiful, it's brutal and you need a plan. The best places to train? The cafeteria is your main loop zone. The docks offer space but really tight choke points, and the bridge is safe until Brutus shows up. Brutus, you may ask? This armoured zombie brute will lock down your perk machines, shut off the mystery box and take multiple full mags to drop. He makes sure you never relax. He's the physical form of the map's rage. The replay value of Mob of the Dead is sky high. You've got solo endings, co-op versus Weasel, multiple build orders, hidden audio logs, and ciphers and lore teasers for Blood of the Dead. Every match can go differently. That's what keeps players coming back over a decade later. This Zombies map was one of the first maps to go really heavy on crafting, and it wasn't just the plane. Almost everything had to be built, unlocked, or zapped into existence. The iconic zombie shield, crafted from parts across the map, it's bulky but essential in tight areas. The Acid Gat kit, needed to upgrade your Blundergat, combine the 3 parts at a workbench and melt your enemies. The mini Uzi wall buy, just a small thing, but it's placed on a guard tower, adding to the versatility. The gondola, a fast travel system from the cell block to the docks. It costs points and it can strand your teammates. This wasn't just round-based survival, it was environmental storytelling, a sandbox of hell. Every object told you something. Why is there a noose here? Why are there scratch marks inside the cells? And why are the radios still playing? Treyarch had loaded Mob of the Dead with hidden radios and audio logs. And if you take the time to stop and listen, you'll hear the thoughts of the 4 main characters, especially the Weasel. One log talks about hearing voices at night, and another hints that none of this was actually real. The Weasel even quotes things like, I think I'm the only one who remembers they killed me, didn't they? These logs hint that the loop has already repeated dozens of times, and maybe, just maybe, you've played this all before, you just don't remember. With any other zombies map, Mob of the Dead is packed with mini Easter eggs. You can electrocute the numbers in the Afterlife to unlock a free Blundergat from the warden's office. There's a jump scare in the infirmary window if you scope in with a sniper. You can kill the zombies on the bridge with nothing but the retriever and they'll scream differently. Even the Pack-a-Punch machine has lines referring to being trapped in the loop. It rewards the exploration, and every little detail adds to the narrative. You're not just playing the game, you're uncovering a true tragedy. So let's talk about how the zombies community reacted to Mob of the Dead, and why this map is still talked about, loved, and endlessly replayed over a decade later. When the map first dropped in April of 2013, it blew people away. At that point, Black Ops 2 had already given us Transit, Die Rise, and Nuketown Zombies, all controversial in their own ways. But then Mob came along and said, let's slow down, let's go dark, and let's tell a story. And the community were instantly hooked. Reddit, Twitter, and all the old Call of Duty forums were full of people raving about the atmosphere, the plane escape, the way the characters interacted with each other, and the Afterlife mechanic. Back then, names like Mr. Ruffle Waffles, Noah J456, The Relaxing End, they all dropped full playthroughs, Easter egg guides, and story breakdowns. This map revived interest in zombies content creation. Some creators built their careers on covering this map. It wasn't just good gameplay, it was fun to watch. Mob became legendary in the custom zombies scene, and people modded it into World at War. Others built tribute maps with similar prison themes. And then when Blood of the Dead in Black Ops 4 was released, people were hyped to see the return of Alcatraz, even if that map didn't quite live up to the original. To this day, fans beg Treyarch to remaster Mob of the Dead properly, as it was, with its original tone, cast, and atmosphere, because what Mob of the Dead did wasn't just cool, it was timeless. So one of the most fascinating parts about this map, in my opinion, is the fact that this map takes place in a pocket dimension, a purgatory bubble outside of the real timeline. The Shadow Man and Dr. Monty never mention it, but Richtofen, he knows. And later on, in Blood of the Dead, the Primus crew visits the island, and that same cycle that we've been talking about still exists, but now it's way deeper. The Weasel's influence, the souls that are trapped in limbo, it's all a part of a larger, fractured multiverse, and according to Treyarch, Mob of the Dead is one of the first recorded examples of a broken cycle. It's a test case, a story of guilt and betrayal, the freedom that echoes across timelines. It's not just a side map, it's a foundation. Now, Mob of the Dead isn't just my favourite zombies map. It's not just the best map in Black Ops 2. It's not just one of Treyarch's finest achievements. To me, Mob of the Dead is what Call of Duty Zombies is all about. The atmosphere, the story, the tragedy, the gameplay, the tension. Everything comes together into one cold, relentless, unforgettable experience. You don't just play Mob of the Dead, you endure it. It makes you feel isolated, paranoid, doomed. You're not saving the world. There's no super squad, no multiverse nonsense. Just 4 broken men, stuck in a loop, trying to escape their guilt. And maybe they never will. The setting, iconic. The characters, flawed, violent, human. The mechanics, bold and unforgiving. And the tone, pitch black. Just how Call of Duty Zombies should be. Mob of the Dead doesn't just hold your hand. It throws you into a nightmare and dares you to find meaning in it. And somehow, in the middle of the blood, the fog, and the silence, you do. Every time I play this map, every time I hear the buzz of Afterlife, or the clang of the Brutus's chains, or that horrible moment where the plane crashes back down. It hits me all over again. This isn't just survival, this is punishment. Storytelling through extreme suffering. Mob of the Dead is a true piece of art. Its gameplay and narrative perfectly fused into one grim masterpiece, and for me, it's the definitive Call of Duty Zombies map. It doesn't need fan service, it doesn't need big names, it just needs you and your sins. So, here we are, back where we started. Mob of the Dead doesn't end with a rescue. There's no helicopter, no cutscene where the characters ride off into the sunset. There's just silence, a cycle, a prison with no key, and maybe that's the point. This map wasn't designed to make you feel like a hero. It was made to trap you, to force you to think, to remember the blood on your hands, the voices in your head, the friends who turned into enemies. This is Zombies at its most raw and vulnerable. This is Treyarch telling us, you wanted survival, well here it is, but you're not getting out clean. If you've made it this far into the video, I want to take some time to thank you. You're not just a fan of zombies, you're part of the cycle too. So, before this next round begins, do me a favour. Drop a like if this brought back memories. Subscribe if you want more deep dives like this. And in the comments, tell me your Mob of the Dead moment, the one that stuck with you, the time that Weasel won, the time that it all just ended. Because Mob of the Dead doesn't just live in the game, it lives in us. We tried to escape, but none of us did.